Loss of moral values in Kali Yuga. On being asked by Yudhishthira about the lifestyle of people in Kali Yuga, sage Vyasa replied, "There will be a widespread prevalence of sinful deeds and lack of moral values in Kali Yuga. People would become untruthful and would become critical of revered sages. Moral values would decline to such an extent their minds would be preoccupied by nothing else but the thought of sex. In Kali Yuga, women will feel most insecure, and even her near and dear ones would become untrustworthy. Men belonging to their own gotras would try to exploit her. Brahmins would be criticized because of their inappropriate conduct. They would become arrogant, would start trading their knowledge, and would not follow the teachings of the Vedas. Similarly, Kshatriyas would become cowards, and a mere reference of battle would be enough to scare them. Majority of people would indulge in immoral deeds like gambling and consume variety of intoxication. They would always look out for an opportunity to grab others' wealth by deceitful means. Married women would not fulfill their obligation towards their husbands. Cows would give lesser milk and trees would bear fewer fruits. Young girls would become pregnant at the raw age of 11 years. Brahmins, by their conduct, would undermine the importance of holy places and would indulge in excessive eating and drinking. In Kali Yuga, people would not give any importance to caste system. Kings would lose their kingdoms and mlechas would become the rulers. Treachery, enmity and disrespect towards elders would become the norms of the day. The significance of Chaturmasya Vrat. Once, on being asked by Narada about the importance of Chaturmasya, Lord Brahma said, "Chaturmasya is the period of 4 months during which Lord Vishnu is believed to take rest in Kshatrasagar. So quite naturally, all the oceans, rivers and ponds are believed to attain divinity due to the presence of Lord Vishnu in Kshatrasagar during this period. This is the reason why great importance has been attached to taking holy bath during this period. A devotee, who observes austerities related with Lord Vishnu during these 4 months, becomes absolved of all his sins. All the deities are believed to dwell within Lord Vishnu during this period. Going on pilgrimage to holy places and taking holy dips in rivers bestow indescribable virtues. A devotee must not forget to perform the rituals of Tarpan after taking his daily bath. He should also observe abstinence and avoid indulging in sensual pleasures during this period of 4 months. There is special significance of making donations during this period, especially donating food grains." Importance of abstinence during Chaturmas. Continuing with the importance of austerities observed during Chaturmas, Lord Brahma said, "Human beings are bundle of desires and long for worldly things. So, there is a great importance of abstinence and forsaking things, which one is very fond of. One who relinquishes his most favorite thing during this period gets the same thing in abundance in the next world. A householder, who renounces his family life for the sake of his devotion during this period, becomes free from the tortures of recurring births and deaths. Similarly, relinquishing the use of chili in one's food during this period helps him to acquire great fortune. Renouncing silk cloths during this period gives imperishable joy. One should avoid wearing black cloths during this period. Combing and shaving are prohibited during this period. A devotee should worship Lord Vishnu on the auspicious day of Kark Sankranti. Normally black plums are offered to Lord Vishnu while worshipping. Celibacy is believed to be the best austerity, and anybody who observes it during the period of Chaturmas never experiences sorrow in his life. Rituals pertaining to Shodash Upachar. Once, On being asked by Narada about the proper methods of performing Shodash Upachar rituals, Lord Brahma said in normal circumstances, when Lord Vishnu is worshipped by employing the rituals of Shodashopchar, it is considered as tafa. But, when the same rituals of Shodashopchar are employed to worship Lord Vishnu during Chaturmas, it is considered as Mahatma. In the same manner, all the austerities that are observed during Chaturmas attain greater importance. Lord Brahma then went on to elucidate the proper method of performing the rituals of Shodashopchar, a particular Mahasukta of Yajurveda consisting of 16 richas are chanted while worshipping Lord Vishnu. Similarly, richas like Sahasrashirsha Purusha and 15 others are considered to be most appropriate for the worship of Almighty Vishnu. First of all, a devotee should perform the ritual of Nyas by mentally associating all the 16 richas with different organs of the body as per the instructions given in the Smritis. The same rituals of Nyas are then performed on the idol of Lord Vishnu or Shaligram. After that, an invocation is made to Lord Vishnu by chanting the first richa of Purush Sukta Seheshtra Shirsha Purusha, with a slight modification, i.e. by adding Om in the beginning of the mantra. Similarly, Lord Vishnu and other Parshads should be installed at the place of worship by chanting the second richa, Purush Evdam. With the chanting of third richa, Lord Vishnu's lotus feet are washed, after which Adhya is offered with the holy water collected from all the 7 seas and other holy rivers. Subsequently, the ritual of Achaman is performed amidst the chanting of 5th richa. The ritual of ablution is then performed, in which the idol of Lord Vishnu is bathed amidst the chanting of the 6th richa. The idol is adorned with beautiful apparels amidst the chanting of 7th richa. Similarly, a sacred thread is offered to Lord Vishnu amidst the chanting of 8th richa, while sandalwood paste is smeared on the idol amidst the chanting of 9th richa. Subsequently, amidst the chanting of 10th, 11th, 12th and 13th richas, flowers, incense, lighted lamp and Navedya are offered to the deity respectively. Navedya should consist of cereals. While performing Aarti, the 14th richa should be chanted. A devotee should then circumambulate around the idol amidst the chanting of 15th richa. Imagining himself as an inseparable part of Lord Vishnu, he should meditate amidst the chanting of the 16th richa. 4. Kashi Kand Vigyachal obstructs the path of Surya. Once, sage Vyasa narrated the following tale to all the assembled sages. Once, while wandering about, sage Narada arrived at Vindhyachal mountain. He was received with great honor and respect by Vindhyachal mountain. But, when the time arrived for Narada to take his leave, he took a deep sigh, which made Vindhyachal extremely perplexed, and he asked Narada if anything was wrong. Narada replied, "Your rival Meru mountain is superior to you in every respect, and this is the fact I am lamenting about. My deep sigh is just the indication of my worried state of mind." Vindhyachal mountain was filled with inferiority complex and started waiting for an opportunity when he could prove his superiority to Meru mountain. He thought, perhaps Narada was right, for even Lord Surya has great respect for Meru's might, and this is the reason why he circumambulates my adversary. If I am able to beat Meru in height, then maybe Lord Surya would start circumambulating me, and this way I shall prove my superiority to Meru. Now, Vindhyachal started increasing his height, and in a short time its peaks became invisible. The fallout of this amazing incident proved to be quite catastrophic for the world, because even Lord Surya was left stranded at a particular point in the horizon. As a result, one part of the earth became too hot for any life to exist. Similarly, the other half of the earth became unbearably cold. The time became still and everything went haywire in the world. All the deities became extremely worried and went to Lord Brahma to seek his help. Lord Brahma advised them to go to Kashi and seek help from sage Agastya. Deities were pleased at their good fortune of getting a chance to visit Kashi. Deities, after reaching Kashi, paid a visit to Manikarnika Tirth and took their bath. Subsequently, they went to Vishwanath temple and worshipped Lord Vishwanath. At last, they reached the hermitage of Agastya where he was busy worshipping a self-made Shiva linga. The entire hermitage was crowded with young pupils of Agastya. After the pleasantries having been exchanged, sage Agastya asked the deities about the purpose of their visit. Agastya orders Vindhya to diminish its size. When Agastya learned of the problem created by Vindhyachal, he agreed to help the deities despite fully aware of the fact that once he left Kashi it would not be possible for him to see his dearest Kashi once again, at least in his present birth. Before leaving for Vindhyachal, he sought permission from Lord Bhairav. He then reached the place where Vindhyachal had obstructed the path of Surya. Lopamudra, his wife, accompanied him. When Vindhyachal found Agastya staring angrily at him, he became scared and immediately minimized his size. Sage Agastya was pleased that his objective had been achieved without making any effort, but he knew quite well that once he left the place, Vindhyachal would regain his mammoth size. So he decided to do something so that Vindhyachal could not obstruct the path of Surya. He worked out a plan according to which he instructed Vindhyachal to wait for him until he returned after accomplishing his pilgrimage. Vindhyachal agreed, assuming that Agastya would return in a short time. Vindhyachal thanked his good fortune of escaping Agastya's wrath, which could otherwise have threatened his very existence. Sage Agastya then went away never to return, and Vindhyachal kept on waiting for his arrival. This way, the path being cleared, Surya was once again able to move freely on its orbit without any problem, and as a result normalcy returned to the world. On the other hand, Agastya, who was not at all happy leaving his dearest Kashi, was desperate to get there back as soon as possible. But he knew that his wish was going to remain unfulfilled. While wandering about, he reached Kolhapur where he worshipped goddess Mahalakshmi. When goddess Mahalakshmi appeared, he asked her whether he would ever be able to reach Kashi in his present life. Goddess Mahalakshmi replied, "Your wishes will be fulfilled in the coming 19th Dwapar, when you would incarnate as Vyasa and would contribute a great deal in the propagation of the Vedas and Puranas. There is a sacrosanct place of Kartikeya not very far from here. Go there and pay your obeisance to Lord Kartikeya, and he would unravel the mysterious aspects of Kashi to you." Sage Agastya and his wife Lopamudra then went to the mountain called Sri Shail, where Kartikeya lived at that time. Kashi, the sacrosanct place of pilgrimage. After traveling for some time, both of them arrived near Sri Shail mountain. Pointing his finger towards the mountain, Agastya told his wife, "One who has a good fortune of seeing the peaks of this mountain never takes a second birth." Lopamudra replied in amazement, "If the sight of this mountain was capable of giving salvation, then why do you long for Kashi?" Sage Agastya then went on to clarify that there were many other holy places capable of giving salvation. Prayag is one such place. It is capable of bestowing all the four, Purusharth, to man: Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Apart from Prayag, there are many more holy places like Naimisharanya, Kurukshetra, Gangava, Avanti, Ayodhya, Mathura, Dwarka, Badrikashram, Purushottam Kshetra, which are capable of giving salvation to a man. But none of these places can match Kashi because Kashi is incomparable. Lord Kartikeya describes the majesty of Kashi sage Agastya and his wife Lopamudra circumambulated Sri Shail mountain and climbed up Lohit mountain where they found Lord Kartikeya. Both of them eulogized Kartikeya by singing Vedic hymns in his praise. Lord Kartikeya was extremely pleased by their devotion and said, "O revered sage, you can understand Kashi's importance by the fact that, though I am capable of reaching any place according to my wish, but still, here I am doing this austere penance for the attainment of Kashi. I must confess that I have not been successful in my efforts till date. If anybody thinks that he can attain to Kashi just by performing austerities, then he is totally wrong. Kashi can never be attained to until and unless one has the blessing of Lord Mahadev. And one who is fortunate enough to have reached Kashi must under no circumstances leave it till he is alive. O Agastya, you are blessed because you had the good fortune of residing at Kashi. Please allow me to touch your body, which has acquired holiness due to its proximity to Kashi." Having said this, Kartikeya touched different parts of Agastya's body as if he were touching the sacred soil of Kashi. The origin of Kashi sage Agastya asked Lord Kartikeya how the sacrosanct place, Kashi, came into being. He also asked how Kashi became famous as a place capable of giving salvation to a man. Lord Kartikeya revealed to Agastya that once Parvati had asked Lord Shiva the same question. Lord Shiva had told her, at the time of deluge when everything had submerged in the ocean and darkness prevailed everywhere, only Brahman, the embodiment of truth, existed at that time and nothing else. Brahman, the absolute truth, is indescribable and inexpressible. No name can be attributed to him. He is the absolute truth, the ultimate knowledge, the infinite, the omnipresent and the eternal bliss. Though basically formless, he attained a form on account of his own wish. That form is none other than me. Later on I created Prakriti from my body. All three of us, Shiva, Parvati and Kashi, manifested simultaneously by the grace of Adipurusha, the Almighty God. Continuing with the tale of Kashi's greatness, Kartikeya told Agastya, there is no holy place as dear to Lord Shiva as Kashi, which is not abandoned by him as well as his consort Parvati even at the time of deluge. Lord Shiva named this holy place Anandavan, because it gave immense joy to him. Subsequently, Lord Shiva and Goddess Jagdamba put a glance on the left portion of their respective bodies, as the result of which a divine entity manifested himself who was none other than Lord Vishnu and who was named Purushottam by Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, after blessing Purushottam, went away. Later on, Lord Vishnu created a divine reservoir with his Sudarshan Chakra and filled it up with his sweat. He then engaged himself in an austere penance. Lord Shiva once again appeared along with Parvati and blessed Vishnu by saying, "This holy place will become famously known as Manikarnika because this is the very place where I had once lost my diamond earring." Lord Vishnu made a request to Shiva, "May this place fulfill the wishes of those who seek salvation. Since it is blessed with your eternal presence, hence its another name would be Kashi." Lord Shiva assured Vishnu by saying, "This sacrosanct place is very dear to me and no event takes place here against my wish. Even if a person living here happens to be a sinner, he has nothing to fear because I protect him. One who lives far from Kashi but remembers it with reverence becomes absolved of all his sins." There is a magnificent Shivaling at Kashi famously known as Kashi Vishwanath. Here is situated one of the 12 Jyotirlingas. Just as the sun is visible in the whole world despite its presence at a particular point in the horizon, in the same manner Kashi has its influence throughout the length and breadth of the world. V. Avanti Kshetra Kand Sanat Kumar glorifies Mahakal Terth. Once, Goddess Parvati requested Shiva to describe the significance of Mahakal Tirth. Lord Shiva replied, once, Sanat Kumar, one of the Manasaputras of Lord Brahma, had gone to his father's abode, situated at a place near Meru mountain. Sage Vyasa arrived there and asked him the same question. Sanat Kumar had revealed to him that all kinds of sins loosed their evil influence at Mahakal Tirth. He had also told him that it was called Pitha, because Matrikas had their abode over there. Anybody who is fortunate of leaving his mortal body at this holy place is freed from the vicious cycles of birth and death. This place is very dear to Lord Shiva and is also called by various other names like Ekmarakwan, Mahakalvan and Vimukti Kshetra. Kapil Mochan. Once, Lord Shiva arrived at Mahakal forest with a skull in his hand. All the trees and vegetation were delighted to find him in their midst. They requested Lord Shiva to remain there forever. Lord Shiva told them that it was not possible for him to stay there forever, but on being requested once again agreed to stay there for at least a year. After 1 year, when the time for departure came, he released the skull from his hand as a memorial. When Lord Brahma came to know of this incident, he instructed all the deities to reach Mahakal forest without wasting any time so that a grand yagya could be performed at the place where Shiva had left the skull. All the deities went to the said place and worshipped Lord Shiva by employing the rituals of Pashupat Vrata, which Lord Brahma had taught them. Lord Shiva became pleased by their devotion and said, "Perhaps you all are not aware that there was a specific objective behind my act of releasing the skull from my hand. This act of mine was done to protect your lives, but it seems you are unaware of its significance. In a way, all of you have already received my blessings in advance for your deep devotion. What else do you wish for?" Deities were amazed by Shiva's statements and were wondering what Shiva was trying to convey. So, they requested Shiva to unravel the mystery so that they could understand what he meant to say. Lord Shiva told them, "The followers of Maya were planning to kill you while you were busy doing penance, but no one of you was aware of their evil motive. I came to know about this in my deep state of meditation and dropped the skull from my hand. As soon as the skull touched the ground, a thunderous sound was made, as the result of which all the demons were killed instantaneously. All the deities thanked Lord Shiva for protecting their lives. In course of time, this particular place became famous as Kapil Mochan Temple and is presently situated in Ujjain. Various names of Ujjaini Puri. Once, Sage Vyasa requested Sanat Kumar to reveal why Ujjaini Puri was known by various names like Kanaksharinga, Kushasthali Avanti and Padmavati. Sanat Kumar replied, "Once, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva arrived at Ujjaini Puri in search of Lord Vishnu, who had disappeared from his abode. To their pleasant surprise, they found Lord Vishnu staying there. Both of them requested Vishnu to allow them to stay at Ujjaini Puri and said, 'O Lord, when did you create such a magnificent place with golden mountain peaks? Allow us to live in this beautiful city, for we cannot live in your separation.' Lord Vishnu requested Brahma to make his abode in the northern part of the city, while Shiva was told to make southern part as his abode. Lord Vishnu then told them, 'Since you have referred to this place as a city of golden mountain peaks, therefore from now onwards it would become famous as Kanchan Shringa, Golden Peaks.' Sanat Kumar then went on to explain why Ujjaini Puri was also called Kushstali. Having created the world, Lord Brahma requested Lord Vishnu to nurture it. Lord Vishnu agreed on the condition that Lord Brahma provided him a pious place on the earth from where he could perform his duty. Brahma then picked up a handful of kush grass and threw down on the earth. This way Lord Vishnu performed his duty as the nurturer of the world sitting on the seat of kush grass. This is the reason why this place came to be known as Kushstali. Sanat Kumar then described how Ujjaini Puri also came to be known as Avanti Puri. Once, after being defeated by the demons, deities fled to Meru mountain. Later on they went to Lord Brahma and sought his help. Lord Brahma took all the deities to Lord Vishnu. Hardly had they reached the abode of Vishnu and offered their obeisance, then they heard a heavenly voice. There is a sacrosanct place called Kushasthali in the forest of Mahāpurāṇa. This holy place is graced by the presence of Lord Mahadev. Go there and engage yourself in austerities and you will certainly become the master of the heaven once again. Subsequently, all the deities went to a place called Paishak Mochan situated in Kushasthali and engaged themselves in various austerities. As prophesied by Vishnu, the deities indeed defeated the demons and became the ruler of heaven. The term, Avan, means, the protector, and since it had protected the deities hence it became famous as Avanti. Sanat Kumar also described how Kushasthali also came to be known as Ujjaini. Once, a demon named Tripur did an austere penance to please Lord Brahma. When Brahma appeared he expressed his wish of becoming immortal. Lord Brahma fulfilled his wish as the result of which Tripur became arrogant and started tormenting the deities. The deities sought the help of Lord Shiva, who assured them that he would kill the demon. Subsequently, Lord Shiva did kill Tripur with his most lethal weapon, Pashupat Astra, after a fierce battle. The place where this incident took place became famous as Ujjaini because of the fierce battle fought between Shiva and Tripur. Continuing with the tale which described the reason why Ujjaini Puri also came to be known as Padmavati, Sanat Kumar told Vyasa during the time of ocean churning ambrosia had also emerged from the ocean bed along with many other valuable things. The demons wanted to drink ambrosia so that they could become immortal but the deities were against this idea. Very soon, the arguments turned into a major dispute and both the sides started quarreling. Narada requested Lord Vishnu to do something in this regard. Lord Vishnu disguised himself as a beautiful lady and was successful in infatuating the demons. Finally, he started giving ambrosia to the deities who after drinking it became immortal. A demon named Rahu was sitting in the rows of the deities after changing his guise. Lord Vishnu was unable to recognize Rahu and gave some ambrosia to him mistaking him to be a deity. But, hardly had Rahu gulped down ambrosia and before it could reach down his throat, Vishnu severed his head. Rahu's head became immortal as the result of ambrosia's influence. This incident had taken place at Mahākal forest. Later on all the deities distributed the whole wealth, which had emerged from the ocean among themselves. This is the reason why Ujjaini Puri came to be known as Padmavati because Padma is another name of goddess Lakshmi. The grandeur of Avantipuri. Sanat Kumar says once, Parvati requested Lord Shiva to explain why Avantipuri was considered so holy by the devotees. Lord Shiva told her that it was so because there were numerous holy places situated over there. Lord Shiva had told her, there are 4 holy rivers flowing through the different regions of Avantipuri: Kshipra, Divyanav, Nilaganga and Gandhavati. There are temples belonging to 84 Shiva lingas, 8 Bhaivas, 11 Rudras, 12 Adityas, 6 Ganeshas and 24 goddesses. Not only this, there are also temples of Lord Vishnu and Brahma. Avantipuri is spread in the radius of 1 yojan. There are temples belonging to 10 different incarnations of Lord Vishnu: Vasudev, Anant, Balaram, Janardhan, Narayan, Hrishikesh, Varah, Dharniga, Vaman, and Lord Vishnu himself taking rest on Sheshnag. Apart from these, there are many other holy places situated at Avantipuri, which enhances its sanctity and holiness. The descent of Narmada. Explaining the reason why Narmada had to descend down to earth, Sutji narrated a tale to the assembled sages. Once, sage Markandeya was taking rest at the bank of river Narmada, where Yudhishthira accompanied by Draupadi arrived there. Yudhishthira curiously asked Markandeya about the reason he had chosen the bank of Narmada as his resting place when there were so many other holy places of greater significance. Sage Markandeya recounted a tale, which said how some sages had requested King Purava to bring down river Narmada to the earth so that the whole world becomes liberated from its sins. Describing the holiness of Narmada, sages had told Purava, the holy Narmada is capable of liberating the whole world from its sin. So, you should find means so that Narmada descends down to earth. Later on, Purava did an austere penance to please Shiva. When Lord Shiva appeared before him, Purava expressed his wish. Shiva instructed Narmada to descend down to earth, but she told him that she needed a base for that to happen. Lord Shiva then instructed Prayank, the son of Vindhyachal mountain, to hold Narmada while she descended down to earth. Prayank agreed to do that, and this was how Narmada came down on earth. Initially, the whole world was flooded with the waters of Narmada, but at the request of the deities she minimized her size. Narmada blessed Purava and instructed him to perform the rituals of Tarpan in the name of his ancestors so that they became liberated from their sins. Purava complied, and thus by performing Tarpan liberated all his ancestors. Having finished his tale, Markandeya told Yudhishthira that one who takes a holy dip in Narmada attains virtues similar to that of performing Ashwamedh Yagya. Narmada marries Purukutsu. Markandeya said, O Yudhishthira, King Purukutsu was Samudra in his previous birth and had been cursed by Brahma. The descent of Narmada on earth made the deities extremely delighted, and they requested Narmada to give them the privilege of experiencing her divine touch. But Narmada refused to give them that privilege on the pretext that she was still unmarried and it would not be proper for her to do so. All the deities then requested her to become the consort of Purukutsu, to which she agreed. This way, Narmada married Purukutsu. After getting married, Purukutsu requested her to liberate his ancestors so that they could attain to heaven. Narmada readily obliged, and this way Purukutsu contributed in his ancestors' departure to heaven. Manu receives a boon from Narmada. Markandeya said Manu ruled over Ayodhya during Swayambhuva Manvanta. One day, while he was going to sleep, he heard a peculiar sound, as if numerous small bells were ringing. He was perplexed and could not ascertain the cause of that sound, so he asked sage Vasishtha about this. Sage Vasishtha made a revelation by which Manu was startled. Sage Vasishtha told him, there is a holy place called Tripuri situated at the bank of river Narmada. The sound that you heard last night emanated from the small bells attached to number of aircraft kept on the roofs of the residences of such people who are virtuous. O king! Only Narmada is capable of giving salvation to lowly of sinners. Manu was highly impressed and decided to go to Tripuri along with his whole clan. All of them took holy dips in the Narmada and became liberated from all their sins. Manu performed a grand yagya at the bank of Narmada, to which all the sages and hermits were invited. Narmada became pleased by his devotion and expressed her willingness to fulfill any wish that Manu desired. Manu requested her help in bringing down Ganga and other holy rivers to earth. Narmada blessed him and said, "In the first half of Treta Yuga, one of your descendants named Bhagirath would accomplish this great feat of bringing down holy Ganga to earth. In the second half of the same era, other holy rivers like Kalindi, Saraswati, Sarayu, and Mahabhaga would also manifest themselves." Jamdagni receives Kamdev. Markandeya told Yudhishthira, "Sage Jamdagni was a great devotee of Shiva and he lived in Narmadapur. He spent his day chanting mantras in the praise of Lord Shiva. Once, he performed an austere penance, which lasted for a month. Ultimately, Shiva manifested himself from the Siddheshwar Ling and appeared before him. Lord Shiva asked Jamdagni to ask for anything he wished for. Jamdagni expressed his desire to have Kamdev so that he could perform his rituals and other religious obligations without any problem. Lord Shiva blessed Jamdagni and disappeared. The next moment, Jamdagni found Kamdev standing in front of his hermitage. Now, Jamdagni got everything that he wished for. This way, he was a happy and contented life until one fateful day when he was killed by a greedy king named Kartikeya, who subsequently took Kamdev along with him. While the greedy king was still on his way, Kamdev cursed him that very soon not only he but the whole caste of Kshatriya would be liquidated by Parshuram, Jamdagni's son, as punishment for having committed such a ghastly sin of killing an innocent sage. After cursing Kartikeya, Kamdev went to her original abode, the heaven. Later on, when Parshuram learned of his father's slaying, he liquidated Kartikeya and the whole caste of Kshatriya as had been prophesied by Kamdev. Description of hell. Yudhishthira requested Markandeya to describe what a sinner had to go through in Yamaloka and also that what kind of a person should be considered as the most ghastly sinner. Markandeya replied, "Donating food to needy people is an extremely virtuous deed and there is no virtuous deed greater than this. A person who donates cereals can be aptly called Annadatta, one who provides food. One who has never donated cereals in his lifetime is definite to go to hell and has to tread an arduous path leading to it that is ridden with prickly thorns, pointed nails and other sharp objects. The entire path leading to hell is extremely dark and covered with large pits. The path is also covered with unbearably hot sand spilled all over the place. The sinner is forcibly taken by the Yamdoots despite their reluctance. The sinners repent for the sins they have committed, but it is of no use to them, as they will have to reap the fruits of their evil deeds. They have to undergo all sorts of painful experience. They are forced to pass through fire and pits full of filth. Those sinners who have atoned for their sins are not treated so harshly by the Yamdoots. After they appear before Yamraj, Chitragupta reminds them of all the sins they had committed. Thereafter, Yamraj orders his attendants to purify the sinners by putting them into the ocean of the hell. There are 28 types of hells: Atigora, Roidra, Gautama, Dukjanani, Gorupa, Taranthara, Vainaka, Kalratri, Gatotkat, Chanda, Machanda, Chandakola, Prachanda, Varagnika, Jagnya, Avaraloma, Vishni, Naika, Karala, Vikrala, Vajravinshti, Asta, Panchakona, Sudirga, Parivachala, Saptabhuma, Ashtabhauma and Dirgamaya. Each of the latter hell is more horrific than the former. Sinners have to undergo unbearable pain and sufferings in the hell. They are tied up by very hot iron chains and hanged down from trees. Yamdoots attach hot and heavy iron balls to their feet and thrash them with hot iron rods. They are then put into wells of filth. The tongue of a liar is rooted out with brute force, and a person who shows disrespect to his elders and teachers, his mouth is filled with hot sands and boiling oil. Similarly, immoral women, who do not fulfill their obligation towards their husbands, are thrown into a horrific hell named Lohakund. O Yudhishthira! A man's life is too short and uncertain. One is not sure when his final call would come. So, one should try to lead a virtuous life to the best of his ability. 6. Nagarkand. Trishanku, cursed by Vasishtha's sons Sutji, once narrated the following tale to the assembled sages. In ancient times there lived a mighty king named Trishanku. He belonged to Suryavanshi dynasty. One day, he asked sage Vasishtha whether there was any such yagya by performing which he would be entitled to go to heaven with his physical form. Sage Vasishtha laughed at his naive query and told him that there was no such yagya by performing which a man could go to the heaven with his mortal body. But Trishanku was not satisfied by Vasishtha's answer, and so he went to ask the same question to Vasishtha's sons, who were 100 in number. But even they corroborated their father's statement. Trishanku got infuriated and threatened them that he would appoint somebody else as his royal priest to get the same yagya performed, as they all lacked the required knowledge and competence. Vasishtha's sons also got angry and cursed him to become a Chandal, a low-caste person. The next moment Trishanku indeed became a Chandal, and was so much ashamed of himself that he decided to go to the forest after relinquishing his throne. He called his son Harishchandra and narrated the whole tale of his misery. Before going to the forest, he appointed Harishchandra as his successor. One day, while wandering in the forest, Trishanku met sage Vishwamitra and narrated his miserable tale to him. Since Vishwamitra was a competitor of Vasishtha, he took it as a golden opportunity to prove his superiority to his adversary. So, he assured Trishanku that he had the requisite power to send anybody to heaven and said, "I shall help you perform a grand yagya, which would allow you to attain to the heaven with your mortal body. But before that you will have to go on a pilgrimage so that you become pure once again." Both Vishwamitra and Trishanku set out on a pilgrimage and reached Abudachal, where they met sage Markandeya. After the pleasantries were over, Markandeya asked Vishwamitra about Trishanku, who was standing quietly. Vishwamitra revealed everything to Markandeya and said, "I had taken a vow not to take rest until Trishanku got absolved of the evil influence of the curse given by Vasishtha's sons. I have not achieved success in my objective till date, so I have decided to renounce the world." Seeing Vishwamitra in such desperation, Markandeya consoled him and instructed him to go to Hatkeshwar, where taking a holy dip in Patal Ganga would purify Trishanku and solve all his problems. Both Vishwamitra and Trishanku reached Hatkeshwar and bathed in the holy Patal Ganga. To his pleasant surprise, Trishanku found that he had indeed become purified and all the lowly qualities had vanished within no time. Vishwamitra was delighted, as the first condition for Trishanku's departure to heaven had been met. He decided to go to Brahma Loka to request Lord Brahma to be present at the yagya which was to be performed for the success of Trishanku's departure to heaven. But before leaving, he instructed Trishanku to make all the necessary preparations before his return. After reaching Brahma Loka, Vishwamitra narrated the whole story to Lord Brahma and requested him to grace the yagya by his presence. Lord Brahma told him that it was just impossible for any mortal to attain to heaven in his physical form, but he added that if Trishanku performed the rituals diligently, then he would certainly attain to heaven after his death. Vishwamitra did not like Brahma's words and challenged him that no power on earth could stop him from sending Trishanku to heaven. Vishwamitra commences new creation. Vishwamitra then instructed Trishanku to make preparation for the yajna. After everything was ready, Vishwamitra initiated Trishanku into the rituals of yajna. Trishanku made offerings in the sacrificial fire at the instruction of Vishwamitra. The deities readily accepted all the offerings that were made to them. This way, the yajna continued for 12 long years, but still there was no sign of Vishwamitra's desire of sending Trishanku to heaven getting fulfilled. Trishanku became dejected and told him about his decision to renounce everything and spend rest of his life doing penance, as chances of attaining to heaven appeared impossible. He was also sure that Vasishtha's sons would make fun of him if he went back to his kingdom without achieving his objective. But Vishwamitra consoled him and said no power on earth can stop you from going to heaven with your physical form. You just need to have some patience and your desire will be certainly fulfilled. Vishwamitra decided to please Lord Shiva, as he was convinced that Shiva was the only deity who could help him achieve his goal. He eulogized Shiva by singing hymns of praise in his name. At last, Shiva appeared before him and expressed his desire of fulfilling any wish of Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra requested Shiva to bestow on him the power of creation just like Brahma had. Lord Shiva blessed him and disappeared. Now, Vishwamitra was eager to test his powers, so he began creating different things. He created sun, moon, stars, oceans, rivers, so on and so forth. In a short time the whole world was filled by his creations, resulting into chaos all over. As the result of his creations, every natural thing became double in number, one that had already been created by Brahma and the second created by Vishwamitra. Now there existed 2 suns, 2 moons, so on and so forth. Vishwamitra's amazing deeds had catastrophic fallout on the natural course of events. Deities were scared and rushed to seek the help of Lord Brahma. They told Brahma that if Vishwamitra was not stopped, the whole world was doomed to destruction. Lord Brahma appeared before Vishwamitra and ordered to stop doing creations. Vishwamitra told him that he was ready to do that if Brahma helped Trishanku attain to heaven with his mortal body. Seeing no other option, Brahma accepted Vishwamitra's condition. This way, Vishwamitra was able to send Trishanku physically to heaven with the help of Lord Brahma. 7 Prabhaskand description of Puranas and Apuranas. Once, while describing the origin of Puranas, Sutji told the sages who had assembled at Naimishranya Lord Shiva had first revealed the contents of Skanda Purana to Parvati at Kailash mountain. Lord Brahma and few other deities were also present there at the time when Shiva was narrating the tale. Subsequently, Parvati narrated this tale to Skanda, Skanda to Nandi, and Nandi to sages like Sanak, etc., and finally Sanak narrated it to Vyasa. Now I am going to tell you the same tale which Vyasa had narrated to me. Sutji began by saying, during ancient times, Lord Brahma once did a very austere penance, resulting into the manifestation of all the 4 Vedas. Later on, all the 18 Puranas too appeared from his mouth. These 18 Puranas were Brahma Purana, Vishnu Purana, Shiva Purana, Bhagavat Purana, Bhavishya Purana, Narada Purana, Markandeya Purana, Agni Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Ling Purana, Padma Purana, Varaha Purana, Skanda Purana, Vaman Purana, Kurma Purana, Matsya Purana, Garuda Purana and Vayu Purana. Apart from these 18 main Puranas, there are also similar number of secondary Puranas known as Puranas. These Puranas are Sanat Kumar, Narsimha, Skand, Shiva, Durvasa, Narada, Kapil, Manu, Urshana, Brahman, Varun, Kalika, Maheshwar, Sam, Sora, Parasha, Marik and Bhargava. Sutji then went on to describe the other features of each Purana. Brahma Purana contains 10,000 shlokas in it, whereas Padma Purana contains 55,000 shlokas. Similarly, there are 23,000 shlokas in Vishnu Purana. Vayu Purana contains the tales related with Lord Shiva and it contains 24,000 shlokas in it. Similarly, the remaining Puranas like Bhagavad, Narada, Markandeya, Agni, Bhavishya, Brahmavivarta, Ling, Varah, Skanda, Vaman, Kurma, Matsya, Garuda and Brahmanda Purana contain 18,000, 25,000, 9,000, 16,000, 14,500, 18,000, 11,000, 24,000, 81,100, 10,000, 17,000, 14,000, 18,000, and 12,200 shlokas respectively. Sutji told the sages that all the Puranas owe their origin to the main Puranas, which are 18 in number. He also revealed to them that they could be categorized into three main types: Sattvic, Rajas and Tamas. Sattvic Puranas contain the tales of Lord Vishnu, while Rajas Puranas contain the tales of Brahma and Tamas Puranas contain the tales of Agni and Rudra. One of the chief characteristics of Puranas is that each of them is divided into 5 sections: Sarg, description of how creation began; Pratisarga, Vansh, description of prominent dynasties; Manvanta, and Vanshanucharit, tales related with the descendants of the famous sages. Prabhas Terth on being asked by the sages about the prominent places of pilgrimage, Sutji named many holy places, but according to him Prabhas Terth was the crown of all the places of pilgrimage and was incomparable. Recounting a tale when Parvati had once asked Lord Shiva the same question, Sutji said, at that time Shiva had told Parvati that Prabhas Kshetra was supreme among all the holy places and capable of liberating a man from all his sins. He had also told her that due to prevalence of sins in Kali Yuga, people would not attain virtues despite going on pilgrimages. Shiva had also told her that this was the reason why he had created numerous holy places and kept them secret, so the holiness of these places remained intact. I have manifested myself in the form of a divine Shiva Linga at Prabhas Kshetra. The whole universe has originated from it and merges into it ultimately at the time of deluge. The Shiva Linga is called Somnath and very few people are aware of its existence. This Shiva Linga continued to exist since its manifestation in a particular kalpa named Bhairav long ago. Unfortunately, people of Kali Yuga under the influence of all-pervading ignorance would fail to recognize the importance of holy places. Such people would try to demean the value of holy places and make fun of those people who go on pilgrimages. Being blinded by their superficial intelligence, they would try to find faults with rituals and religion. Such would be the condition of the mortals in Kali Yuga, that they would criticize everything that is religious and spiritual in nature. How can one expect from these unfortunate people of Kali Yuga to understand the significance of Prabhas Kshetra, and which is revered even by me? Parvati, who had been listening to the tale with rapt attention, became even more curious to know about Prabhas Kshetra. So she requested Lord Shiva to shed more light on the other important aspects of this sacrosanct place. Lord Shiva, continuing with his description of Prabhas Kshetra, said, "This sacrosanct place has temples of 3 deities on its 3 sides. To its east is situated a grand temple of Surya Narayan, while there is a magnificent temple of Madhav to its west. In the same way there is a beautiful temple of goddess Bhavani to the north of Prabhas Kshetra, and towards its south lies the ocean. This holy place is spread in the area of 5 yojans and is divided in 3 major areas: Maheshwar, Vaishnav and Brahma. There are about 1 crore temples related with different deities in Vaishnav and Brahma Kshetras, while Maheshwar Kshetra contains 1.5 crore temples. As the name implies, each area has been named after one god forming the Trinity. Anybody who has the good fortune of living in the central part of Prabhas Kshetra becomes absolved of all his sins, even if he has committed most abhorrent sins. The significance of this holy place can be understood by the fact that a man born there does not take a second birth and attains salvation. One whom scholars of the Vedas call Kalagni Rudra is famously known as Bhairav in Prabhas Kshetra. Somnath Ling, emphasizing on the significance of Someshwar Ling and its deep association with the Vedas, Lord Shiva told Parvati the divine Someshwar Ling exists since time immemorial and will remain for eternity. This revelation descended on me while I was engrossed in a deep state of meditation. Someshwar Ling has deep association with the Vedas, and it enhances their sanctity by establishing itself in each of them at different periods of time during the day. During morning time, Someshwar Ling establishes itself in the Rigveda, during noon in the Yajurveda, during afternoon in the Samaveda, and during evening time it establishes itself in Atharva Veda. Different names of Somnath. Parvati curiously asked Lord Shiva about the reason why Somnath was known by so many different names. Lord Shiva said, "Since the time this divine link first manifested itself, very few blessed souls had the knowledge of its existence. Brahma has a lifespan of 1 kalpa, at the end of which even he ceases to exist, giving way to his successor, a new Brahma. In the same manner this divine link acquires a new name at the end of each kalpa. The present kalpa is 7th in order, as 6 kalpas have already passed. The name of the present Brahma is Shatanan, and this divine link is presently famous by the name of Somnath. Similarly, it was famous as Mrityunjay during the time of Brahma named Virimchi. During 2nd Kalpa this link was famous as Kalagni Rudra, and the name of Brahma was Padmabhu. The 3rd Kalpa had Swayambhu as Brahma, and the link was famous as Amritesh. The name of the 4th Brahma was Parmeshthi in 4th Kalpa, and the link was famous as Annamal. In the same way the names of the 5th and 6th Brahma were Surjeshtha and Hemagarbha respectively, and the names of the link during their periods were Kritivas and Bhairavnath respectively. Lord Shiva also revealed to Parvati that the next Kalpa 8th in order would have Chaturmukh as Brahma, and the divine link would be known as Prannath. Goddess Parvati then asked Shiva about the exact location of the link in Prabhas Kshetra. Lord Shiva told her that the sacrosanct place of Prabhas Kshetra was situated between the plains of 2 rivers, Vajrani and Nyankumti. He also told her that the eternal link was not very far from the sea coast. Dwelling at length about the good fortunes of those living in Prabhas Kshetra, Lord Shiva told her, "Anybody who does not abandon this holy place despite his hardships and troubles is certain to attain to my abode. One who has the good fortune of dying at Prabhas Kshetra attains salvation. There will be prevalence of sins in Kali Yuga. As a result of this, people would experience all sorts of hurdles and problems in their lives. to minimize their sorrows and to lessen their miseries. I have personally instructed Ganesh not to abandon this place even for a moment. Of all the lingas present on the earth, Somnath is specially dear to me. Siddheshwar Ling and Siddha Ling describing the reason why this sacrosanct place was named Prabhas. Lord Shiva told Parvati, I dwell in the entire area stretching between the ocean in the south and river Koreshwari. Being situated at the western coast, this entire area is radiated by Surya's light for a relatively longer period of time, and hence it has been named Prabhas, meaning luster. This is the reason why there is situated a grand temple of Lord Surya in Prabhas Kshetra. Not far from this Surya temple is situated a magnificent temple of Lord Siddheshwar, which was famously known as Yogi Shavyeshwar in ancient times. Lord Shiva then went on to describe why Siddheshwar was called Yogi Shavyeshwar during ancient times. There lived a sage named Yogi Shavya in previous kalpa. He used to daily worship a Shiva linga named Mahudai, which had manifested on its own. Keeping in view Shiva's fondness for ashes, he used to smear it on his body hoping to please his deity. Not only this, he even slept on ashes. He thus led an extremely austere life. At last he was able to please Lord Mahudai by his devotion. When Lord Mahudai appeared before him and expressed his willingness to fulfill anything he wished, but Yogi Shavya wanted nothing but total devotion in his deity, Mahudai. Lord Mahudai blessed him with immortality and said, there would be nobody as powerful as you. Your feats achieved in spiritual things will be unmatched, and you would become famous as Yogacharya, or teacher of yoga. One who regularly worships this particular ling which you have been worshipping with such deep devotion till now is certain to get absolved of all his sins. Having blessed Yogi Shavya thus, Lord Mahudai disappeared from his sight. After this incident, Mahudai Ling also came to be known as Yogi Shavyeshwar. In course of time, when the Kali Yuga of that kalpa arrived, some sages named Balkilyas had gone to the same place and worshipped Lord Mahudai. Similarly, many more sages went there and attained siddhi, or accomplishment. This is how this ling came to be known as Siddheshwar, the Lord of all accomplishments. There are many holy places in the vicinity like Siddha Ling, which was installed by Lord Surya. Anybody who worships this ling on the auspicious day of Trayadashi of the bright half of the Hindu month Chakra attains virtues similar to the accomplishment of Pundarik Yagya. Chandradeva eulogizes Shiva. Parvati asked Lord Shiva about the reason Chandradeva had to install a Shiva linga at Prabhas Kshetra. Lord Shiva replied that Daksha had got married 27 of his daughters to Chandradeva. Chandradeva was very attached to Rohini, who was one of them, and neglected others. When Daksha came to know about this, he cursed Chandradeva, as the result of which he lost his luster and started waning day by day. The worried Chandradeva did an austere penance for thousands of years to please Lord Shiva. At last Lord Shiva became pleased and appeared before him. Subsequently, Chandradeva got a divine Shiva linga installed by Brahma and worshipped it for thousands of years. Lord Shiva appeared once again and expressed his willingness to fulfill any wish Chandradeva expressed. Chandradeva requested Lord Shiva to dwell in the very Shiva linga he had been worshipping till then. Lord Shiva revealed to him that there was no question of dwelling in the Shiva linga, as he had never abandoned it in the first place. Chandradeva had regained his luster on account of his arduous penance. Lord Shiva blessed him and said, "Since you have regained your luster, Prabha, by dint of your austere penance, this holy place will become famous as Prabhas Kshetra." This ling would be named upon you and become famous as Somnath Ling. Having blessed Chandradeva thus, Lord Shiva disappeared. Later on, Chandradeva instructed Vishwakarma to build a magnificent temple at the site. He also built a city nearby so that all the priests who were supposed to supervise the rituals of worship could live there. The significance of getting one's head torn showed. Dwelling on length about the significance of getting one's head torn showed at holy places, Lord Shiva told Parvati, a man should get his head torn showed whenever he gets an opportunity to visit a holy place because hair are believed to contain all the sins he has committed. There is a holy place called Padma Tirth, not far from Somnath temple. A devotee should first get his hair removed at Somnath Tirth and then immerse them at Padma Tirth. This way he becomes absolved of all his sins. Women should have a symbolical cut of their hair. It is necessary to perform the rituals of Tarpan in the names of ancestors after the head tonsuring ceremony. According to the scriptures, an ocean is considered holy and nobody should its holy water in an impure state. While bathing, a devotee should chant the following mantra: Om Namo Vishnu Guptaya Vishnu Rupya Namah, Sannighe Bhavdevesh Sagar Lavanam Vasi. There are about 5 crore Shiva lingas submerged in the ocean near Somnath. There are also other holy places situated nearby like Agnikunda, Padma Sarovar, etc. The emergence of Saraswati in Prabhas Kshetra. On being asked by Parvati about the emergence of river Saraswati at Prabhas Kshetra, Lord Shiva narrated the following tale to her: the holy Saraswati flowing in Prabhas Kshetra constitutes of 5 different streams: Harini, Vajrani, Nyanku, Kapila and Saraswati. Lord Vishnu once instructed Saraswati to carry Badwanal, submarine fire, and dump it in the ocean near Prabhas Kshetra. After taking permission from Lord Brahma, her father Saraswati flew towards her destination. Ganga became sad at her departure, so she asked her as to how could she have a glimpse of her now that she was going to such a distant place. Saraswati consoled Ganga by saying that she would be able to see her whenever she looked eastwards. The swift currents of Saraswati penetrated the earth and reached Patal Loka carrying Badwanal along with her. She continued to move beneath the ground towards her destination. As she reached Prabhas Kshetra, 4 learned sages, who were well versed in Vedas, arrived there and invoked Saraswati to give them the privilege of separate bath by dividing herself in 4 different streams. The names of these sages were Hiranya, Vajra, Nyanku and Kapil. While Saraswati was about to comply with their request, suddenly Samudra arrived there and he too expressed the same wish. Thus Saraswati divided herself into 5 different streams: Harini, Vajrani, Nyanku, Kapila and Saraswati. Eventually, when Saraswati reached near the ocean, Badwanal, whom she was carrying, was surprised to see the high tides rising in the ocean. He thought that the Samudra was frightened of his fury, so he asked Saraswati, "Why is the ocean scared of me?" Saraswati inflated his ego by saying that who would not be scared of him. Badwanal was pleased and wanted to grant her a boon. Saraswati remembered Lord Vishnu, who instantly gave his divine appearance in her heart. She narrated the whole story and sought his advice. Lord Vishnu advised her to ask Badwanal to make his appearance small like the eye of a needle. Saraswati, following the advice of Lord Vishnu, asked Badwanal to become small like a needle and keep sucking the ocean. Subsequently, Saraswati summoned Samudra and told him to accept Badwanal, to which he agreed. This way Samudra devoured Badwanal, who continues to suck the water of the ocean even today as per the instructions given by Saraswati. It is believed that tides are nothing but the manifestation of Badwanal's exhalations. This was how Saraswati emerged in Prabhas Kshetra. Prabhas, the abode of Trinity goddesses, Lord Shiva revealed to goddesses Parvati that Prabhas Kshetra boasted of possessing many more Shiva-lingas apart from the famous Somnath Shiva-linga. He also gave names of some of the prominent Shiva-lingas situated over there and said, "To the northeast of Somnath temple is situated a grand temple of Lord Sarveshwar Deva, who is also famously known as Siddheshwar." The reason behind this is that Shiva-linga over there had been installed by the Siddhas, accomplished ones, in ancient times. People who are desirous of acquiring siddhis throng this holy place and engage themselves in austere penance. To the east of Siddheshwar temple is situated one more temple called Kapileshwar. It has been named after sage Kapil, who had installed the Shiva-linga over there. A Shiva-linga named Gandhaveshwar is also situated nearby. This particular Shiva-linga had been installed by a Gandhav named Dhanvahan. To the east of Gandhaveshwar temple is situated Vimleshwar temple. It is believed that anybody suffering from tuberculosis gets cured after he worships in that temple. Gandheshwar Ling was installed by Kuber, who was bestowed with the lordship of wealth on account of his austere penance. Lord Shiva told Parvati that there were also temples of 3 goddesses in Prabhas Kshetra apart from Shiva temples. These 3 goddesses were Mangala, Vishalakshi and Chatvar, representing the 3 types of power: willpower, power of action and power of knowledge. Lord Shiva said, "The pilgrimage to Prabhas Kshetra is believed to be incomplete until and unless these 3 goddesses have been worshipped." Goddess Mangala represents the power of Lord Brahma, Brahma Shakti, while Goddess Vishalakshi that of Lord Vishnu. Goddess Chatvar represents my power. Goddess Mangala holds the privilege of getting worshipped first. During ancient times, Chandrama did an austere penance for thousands of years, and all the deities including Lord Brahma had gone there to witness his amazing feat. At that time Goddess Mangala had blessed them, and this was how she got her name. Lord Shiva then went on to describe how Goddess Vishalakshi got her name. A fierce battle had taken place between the deities and demons during Chakshus Manvanta. Lord Vishnu fought along with the deities and helped them in defeating the demons. Demons fled towards the south but were chased by the deities. Realizing that it was not easy to annihilate the demons, Lord Vishnu remembered Goddess Mahamaya and sought her help. Mahamaya appeared instantly and looked at Lord Vishnu with her large eyes. This is how she got her name. In the present Kalpa she is also known as Lalitoma. To the south of Vishalakshi temple is situated the temple of Goddess Chatvorapriya. Goddess Chatvorapriya is the savior of people living in that area. Anybody who worships her on the auspicious day of Mahanvami with appropriate rituals is blessed. Dwaka Mahatmya, sages' queries to Prahlad. Once, few sages asked Sutji about the means by which Lord Vishnu could be realized in Kali Yuga, the era dominated by sin and decaying moral values. Sutji started by describing how Lord Vishnu, on seeing the prevalence of sin in Dwapar Yuga, had to take incarnation as Krishna to liberate the world from the sinners. He also described in detail all the incidents culminating into the killings of many cruel demons: Kaliya serpent, Chanur, Shishupal and ogress like Putna. He gave in-depth description of the events leading to the war of Mahāpurāṇa and how the infighting among the mighty Yadvas led to their destruction. He told them how a fowler mistook Krishna's feet to be a deer and killed him. Sutji also told the assembled sages how the magnificent city of Dwarka had been submerged in the ocean ultimately. He revealed to them that the passing away of Krishna marked the advent of Kali Yuga and the situation became even worse. On finding how difficult it was to realize Lord Vishnu in the Kali Yuga, the era dominated by sin, some prominent sages decided to seek Lord Brahma's help in this regard. After reaching Brahma Loka, they eulogized Brahma and received his blessings. Lord Brahma told them to go to Patal Loka and meet Prahlad, the supreme devotee of Lord Vishnu, who according to Lord Brahma was in a better position to help them. All the sages went to Patal Loka as per the instructions given by Lord Brahma. There they not only found Prahlad but also the most charitable King Bali. After the pleasantries were exchanged, they came to the real issue and said, "We are very much distressed by the prevailing situation where it appears that the evil forces have overshadowed the virtuous ones. The ways shown by the Vedas are no longer in practice and the Brahmins are being tormented by the Shudras, who have become the rulers. We have come with a request and a desire to know whether there was any possibility of realizing Lord Vishnu in this dark era of Kali. If yes, then where can we find Lord Vishnu?" The sanctity of Dwarkapuri Prahlad, being an ardent devotee of Vishnu himself, understood quite well the desperation with which a devotee seeks his Lord. So he told them, "By the grace of Almighty Vishnu, I am revealing to you the name of that sacred place which has remained a secret till now. Kurukshetra Puri is a divine city situated on the western coast. Nearby is the place where river Gomti meets the ocean, and at this convergent point is situated the sacrosanct city called Dwaravati Puri, where you can find Lord Vishnu in all his glory of 16 colors. Blessed be the Dwarkapuri, which the Almighty Vishnu has chosen as his abode and where he dwells in his glorious Chaturbhuj form. This is the very place which even liberates the most fallen sinner from all his sins. There is a famous temple of Lord Trivikram at the bank of river Gomti, and not far from this temple is a divine pond. Anybody desirous of salvation must bathe in this pond for the fulfillment of his wish. It is believed that before leaving for heaven, Lord Krishna had transferred all his divine powers into the Trivikram idol. So, there is no place as holy as Dwarka, and if you are desirous of having a divine glimpse of Lord Krishna, then you must visit Dwarka." All the sages thanked Prahlad for sharing his secrets with them, because nobody else except Prahlad was aware of the fact that Lord Vishnu had given Dwarka the privilege of being his abode. These revelations made them more curious about Dwarka, so they requested Prahlad to disclose how the holy Gomti descended down to Dwarka. Prahlad began by describing the virtues of going on a pilgrimage to Dwarka. The mere resolution of going on a pilgrimage to Dwarka is enough to liberate one's ancestors from the tortures of the hells. Each step that a devotee takes towards Dwarka gives virtues similar to what is attained by performing Ashwamedh Yagya. One who encourages others to go on a pilgrimage to Dwarka certainly goes to Vishnu Dham. Prahlad then switched over to the second part of the sage's question and said, "There is an interesting tale describing how sage Vasishtha had brought down Gomti from the heaven to earth. At the time of deluge, when the whole world had submerged in water, a lotus flower manifested from Lord Vishnu's navel, on which was seated Brahma. Lord Vishnu instructed him to perform his duty as a creator, to which Brahma agreed. First of all, Brahma created his 10 Manasputras, Sanak, Sanandan etc., and sought their help in increasing the population of the world by becoming householders. But all of them were extremely virtuous and did not show any inclination towards getting married. Ultimately, all of them went to the western coast and engaged themselves in austere penance. Their penance continued for a number of years, after which Sudarshan Chakra appeared before them. As all of them looked up in bewilderment, they heard a heavenly voice, "O sons of Brahma! Very soon the Almighty Vishnu is going to manifest himself. The chakra you are seeing is his. You all must perform the rituals of Arghya in the name of Lord Vishnu to show your reverence towards him. All the Manasaputras eulogized Sudarshan Chakra with deep devotion. All of them wished that there were a holy river, with whose water they could perform the rituals of Arghya. But to their utter dismay there was no such holy river nearby. They then remembered Lord Brahma, who immediately understood what they desired. Lord Brahma instructed Ganga by saying, Ganga, go to the earth, where you would be known as Gomti. Sage Vasishtha will lead you to your destination. Just follow him like a daughter follows her father. Finally, when Sage Vasishtha followed by Gomti reached their destination, all the Manasaputras were delighted. They eulogized Ganga and expressed their gratitude to Vasishtha for bringing Ganga on earth. All of them thanked Vasishtha by saying, since you have brought Gomti on earth, you would be considered as her father. They offered Arghya to Gomti and subsequently eulogized Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu appeared after being pleased and blessed them. Your unflinching devotion in me has pleased me no bound. Since you did this penance with the objective of moksha, salvation, this place would become famous as Mokshadayak, giver of salvation. This sacrosanct place would also be called Chakra Tirth because of Sudarshan Chakra, who informed you all of my manifestation at Dwarkapuri. I assure you that I won't abandon this sacrosanct place even for a moment. This way, all the Manasaputras were finally successful in their objective of offering Arghya to Lord Vishnu with the holy water of Gomti. At last, Gomti, having fulfilled her mission for which she had descended down to earth, merged with the ocean. Lord Vishnu disappeared from there and Manasaputras continued to live there. If you enjoyed this audiobook, please like and subscribe to be notified of when new audiobooks are uploaded. Thank you for listening and learning. Shanti.